Hi, I'm Lydia. I'm a third year student studying the Bachelor of Arts, Pathway to Teaching Secondary Maths major. Just turned 21 the other week, and yeah, I'm also Axel's sister. So I think my current lifestyle is typical of a university student. I go out to uni about twice a week, but I also work every afternoon tutoring predominantly online. As a result, then my lifestyle is typically composed of travel, maybe 5 days a week, mostly on public transport. So evidently, as just like a global citizen, it definitely is terrible to hear so many like people being affected by climate crises. We actually only moved to where we're living now recently, so I actually haven't seen the many impacts of climate change induced natural disasters here, probably because we're in a more urbanized environment that isn't in proximity to forestry that would be undergoing bushfires, or close enough to the coast where we see kind of rises and falls in a lot of rainfall or water levels. But nevertheless, it really does break my heart to see so many people being affected, especially because in Australia in particular, things like the bushfires seem to be like a disaster that doesn't give the victims a lot of time to recuperate. It seems like they've only just suffered through one event only to be impacted by the same event a year later. So I think I've been pretty environmentally conscious to an extent for all of my life. I've tried my best to, the three R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle. But most recently, now that I've only become a citizen from the past 2 years, and we just had the federal election, probably the biggest impact climate-induced natural disasters have had on me is to inform my opinion on who I would like to be in government. As a result, I think we all saw on the news 30% of voters actually voted for independent parties, mostly the Greens, which I think is indicative of how much our citizenry really prioritizes environmental policies that put fighting against climate change as the priority. As I said before, because I've tried my best to be more environmentally conscious, I've still mostly lived my life the same as I've always lived it, recycling when I can, reducing waste where possible, and also taking public transport as well. So like I said, trying to reduce waste where possible, recycling as well, and just trying to reduce the amount of particularly one-time use disposable plastics. Additionally, whenever I want to go out with friends or go out to university, because I cannot drive, I will have to take public transport, or I'll carpool with other people who can. Other than that, I don't really go on many holidays, so I know air travel is one of the biggest, factors for global greenhouse gas emissions, so I'm not really impacting that. And in the household as well, just as like a kind of family thing, we don't really turn on lights when we're not in the room. We try to reduce the amount of electricity used by devices, as well as reduce things like shower time and other practices that don't have to be as long as they should be. So on an individual basis, I think the most effective way to promote sustainability in my community is to talk to your friends and family about practices that they can do to reduce their carbon footprint. As we discussed, the three R's, as well as carpooling, taking public transport, and not being wasteful when we can be more sustainable. Of course, in order to actually impact fighting against climate change on a global level, we will require more broad sweeping policies. And I think this is where, our voting rights and our ability to petition to the government to create policies that perhaps maybe make corporations move from fossil fuels to more renewable resources such as wind, solar, and hydroelectricity can make a bigger impact. Of course, we do live in an industrialized, urbanized, capitalist society, which does function, on the idea that material items and increasing your wealth is how to grow and how to improve your own lifestyle. But a lot of discussions, especially with people our age, are tending towards a lot of fear and nihilism in regards to the fact that we might not even have a world to live in soon enough. So I definitely think while prioritizing or taking the effort to influence the people around you to be more environmentally conscious doesn't hurt. In order to really make an impact in your community, we definitely have to make wider and more, I guess, higher level changes to kind of go towards sustainability.